You are standing on a hilltop in southeastern Anatolia. The year is approximately 9,600 BCE. Wind moves across the dry grass beneath your feet and lifts pale dust into the morning air. There are no cities anywhere on earth, no writing, no pottery, and yet, surrounding you on all sides, enormous T-shaped pillars of carved limestone rise up to 5.5 meters into the sky, taller than a 2-story house, their surfaces alive with foxes, vultures, wild boar, scorpions, and coiling snakes. This place will not be discovered by modern archaeology for more than 11,000 years. This is not a lecture about ruins. This is an attempt to feel what it was like to stand here when the stones were new. The landscape surrounding you is a world in transition. The great glaciers of the north are retreating. The climate is warming, reshaping terrain that stretches out in open scrubland, wild grasses, and river valleys below. Communities of hunter-gatherers move across this land with the seasons, following gazelle herds, wild cattle, and red deer, gathering cereals and fruits. They have no permanent cities. But they are not simple. The people arriving at this hilltop belong to what archaeologists call the Pre-Pottery Neolithic, a world before full agricultural civilization, yet already capable of extraordinary organized labor and monumental symbolic thought. They have come, perhaps from many days' journey away, for something larger than food or shelter. They have come because this place is sacred, and Göbekli Tepe is not alone. It sits at the center of a wider ceremonial landscape, now known as Taş Tepeler, meaning stone hills, a network of at least 12 related Neolithic sites across this same region. Karahan Tepe, Sayburç, Çakmaktepe. This is not a single isolated monument. This is an entire world. Walk into one of the circular stone enclosures and look around you. At the center of each ring stand 2 larger pillars, facing each other like guardians or ancestors. Look more closely at the stone. Those are arms carved along the shaft, hands, fingers, a belt and loincloth. These T-shaped columns are not abstract geometry. They are stylized human figures, standing in permanent, monumental stillness, watching. And swarming across every surface, foxes in procession, vultures with outstretched wings, enormous wild boar, cranes, ducks, spiders, and scorpions. Abstract symbols, H shapes, crescents, geometric bands appear alongside them. But here is something that changes how you picture this place entirely. Traces of red, white, and yellow pigment have been found on these limestone pillars and walls. What we see today as bare gray stone once glowed with vivid color. In torchlight, those painted carved animals would have shimmered. They would have seemed to move. Around you, the gathering continues. Archaeologists have found enormous quantities of animal bones, gazelle above all, but also aurochs, deer, and boar, alongside grinding stones, mortars, and pestles. People are preparing food, sharing it. The air carries smoke and warmth, and the sounds of a community in motion. This is not a sterile sanctuary. It is a living place. As the day deepens, the rhythm changes. A low sound begins, felt in the chest more than heard with the ears. Bodies form circles, the chanting builds. Firelight crosses the carved stone, and the painted animals begin to dance in the shadows. Foxes flickering, vultures spreading their wings. Archaeologists cannot tell us exactly what was performed here, but the physical evidence points clearly to organized, repeated, large-scale ceremony. We know that when a building's ritual life was considered complete, The community didn't abandon it. They filled it, deliberately, carefully, with soil, stones, and placed objects in a structured farewell, sealing it beneath the earth. Each enclosure is, in a sense, a time capsule, closed by intention. The architecture was built to channel and overwhelm human attention. Rhythm, repetition, collective movement, and firelight on painted carved stone are among the most well-documented mechanisms of altered psychological states across all human cultures. What happened inside these enclosures need not be a mystery to be recognized as powerful. Look now at what archaeologists call the vulture stone, one of the most analyzed carved pillars ever found. A vulture spreads its wings over a headless human figure. Scorpions and cranes surround it. In the ancient Near East, the vulture was deeply associated with death and transformation, the return of flesh to sky. Carved human heads found at nearby Karahan Tepe, reverently placed inside structures before they were sealed, suggest a ceremonial world centered on ancestors, the boundary between the living and the dead, and what lies beyond ordinary perception. Something is happening in this enclosure that we can feel but not fully name. When German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt began excavating this site in 1995, his initial interpretation was that Göbekli Tepe was a purely ritual sanctuary, a cathedral on a hill visited by pilgrims but not permanently inhabited. Since then, the picture has grown more complex. Evidence of domestic structures and sustained habitation alongside the monumental enclosures tells us this was also a place people lived, not merely visited. And what remains undisputed is this: a site of staggering scale and symbolic sophistication was built by hunter-gatherers, before pottery, before cities, before the full development of agriculture, by people who organized the labor of hundreds or thousands over generations, who quarried and shaped and raised multi-ton pillars with geometric precision. Here is the question that rewrote the history books. We used to believe that agriculture came first, that farming created settlements, settlements created surplus, surplus created monuments, and monuments gave rise to religion. Göbekli Tepe inverted that sequence entirely. The ceremonial impulse may have come first. The need to gather, to feast, to perform ritual on a scale that demanded reliable food supplies. That very need may have pushed these communities toward planting and herding in the first place. The monument came before the farm. And consider this: geophysical surveys reveal that dozens more enclosures still lie buried beneath the hill. What has already been found rewrote human prehistory. What remains sealed underground may rewrite it again. Only about 5% of this site has been excavated. The story of Göbekli Tepe is not finished. This place matters because it changed everything we thought we understood about the origins of human complexity. It demonstrated that tens of thousands of years before the first city, before the first empire, before the first written word, Homo sapiens was already capable of extraordinary symbolic richness, organized collective effort, and the deliberate creation of spaces charged with meaning. The gathering, the shared food, the rhythm, and the chant. The search for something that felt larger than ordinary life. Long before civilization was invented, human beings were already doing this. They were already standing in sacred spaces, already carving meaning into stone, already reaching towards something they could not fully describe. As you stand on this windswept hill and watch firelight move across carved animals that predate every city on earth, what strikes you most is not the strangeness of these people. It is how familiar they feel. The need to gather, the need to mark time, the need to honor the dead and stand in the presence of something greater. They were not so different from us, and in some way, standing here, watching these stones, neither are we from them.